Unstable housing is an issue that affects college students' ability to learn and be successful. Current data on the number of students facing homelessness from UGA was unavailable, but nationally, it is estimated that about 5.7% of students at public universities are experiencing this issue. UGA is in one of the poorest counties in Georgia. There is an overwhelming need for affordable housing for college students. Organizations that assist students in addressing housing insecurity are the Student Outreach and Care Program and Lydia's Place. However, they have limited capacity and create a barrier to secure housing. Expansion of these types of housing programs will be helpful for students facing homelessness and inadequate housing.
Creating more supplemental or affordable housing options for UGA students at risk of homelessness is essential. According to the U.S. Department of Education, reveals that overall cost for attending college has risen by nearly $10,000 in the past decade, which has made it even easier for students to be susceptible to financial and housing insecurity. Many barriers present themselves for students who have inadequate housing, such as lower GPA, declining mental health issues that may result in students failing to graduate on time or dropping out entirely. The stresses caused by homelessness can lead to depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation for students. While options for physical and mental health issues have become more available on college campuses, reaching homeless students is more challenging, due in part to the social stigma and the university's responsibility to protect students' confidentiality. Embark, a program offered by UGA, redirects students to UGA housing, provides limited resources, and does not offer sustainable housing options for students experiencing homelessness.
The underlying problem of homelessness amongst students at the University of Georgia is a very prevalent and important problem that stems off of the area of our concern, which is homelessness in Athens, Georgia. So, given this prevalence of homelessness among college students, specifically here at the University of Georgia, there comes additional specific educational challenges that these students experiencing homelessness or seeking shelter are more likely to have than their peers who are not. This can take shape in many different ways, but it can specifically look like trouble achieving academic success. This is mainly due to worrying about where they're going to lay their head at night, where they're going to be sleeping next, or do they have to move again? On top of the rigorous education offered to the students of University of Georgia, in the forceful nature of aging out of the foster care system at age 18 while you are in high school, there are so few options offered to them to support one in their ability to be self-sustaining, which is ultimately what society and the foster care system requires and asks of these students.
We plan to propose the host home model to UGA's Students Director of Student Outreach and Care, Carrie Smith. This model focuses on utilizing families from the community to provide students with a place to live in their home. It has been proven in multiple college towns to be successful in alleviating student homelessness, and it was adapted to with UGA students in mind. We reached out through an email that contained the model as a proposal to UGA's Office of Student Outreach and Care, and we encouraged them to consider this program for UGA students experiencing homelessness.
Regarding our plan of action, many of the resources that we plan to use comes directly from within UGA, specifically through the Embark at UGA program and the Office of Student Care and Outreach. These programs are the primary avenues through which students in need receive services while attending the University of Georgia, and as such, they represent great starting points for implementing our plan of action. Throughout the course of our capstone, I had the chance to speak with both David Myers of the Embark at UGA program and Emma Clark of the Office of Student Care and Outreach. From them, I learned that student care and outreach represented the most efficient way for us to implement our plan. The students who often need the most help here at UGA shared one of two primary characteristics. They were either homeless in high school or part of the foster care system prior to becoming students at UGA. But despite us knowing these risk factors, the truth is that there's not much data available regarding the amount of students who need or utilize these resources on campus. One potential goal for us is to devise a better way to estimate the amount of students who require these services both directly prior to their arrival at UGA and while they're attending. The Office of Student Care and Outreach and OSFA are now working more closely with each other so that the data from the FAFSA can be used to potentially identify students in need. And we hope that in addition to our proposal for a host home program at UGA, we can also work to facilitate the distribution of information between these two departments so that more of UGA's vast resources can be used to ease financial burdens of these students.
As a group, we drafted an email to the Office of Student Outreach and Care that introduced us and our Capstone project. We discussed the severity of student homelessness, especially in Athens-Clarke County, and gave a brief overview of the Host Homes program. The email included the guidebook, a manual, and forms to implement the program at UGA. We offered to set up a meeting to talk about it more, but were unable to coordinate one in the end. Obviously, the solution to homelessness is a sustainable place to live, but this was not a feasible goal for us to accomplish in such a short amount of time. We faced many barriers such as lack of response, funding, time, and scheduling. But our hope is in the future UGA would implement a similar program to the Host Homes program to help this population of students and alleviate student homelessness in Athens.